Today's scripture comes from Luke chapter 9, verses 51 through 56. When the days drew near for him to be taken up, he set his face to go to Jerusalem, and he sent messengers ahead of him. On their way, they entered a village of the Samaritans to make ready for him, but they did not receive him because his face was set toward Jerusalem. When his disciples, James and John, saw it, they said, "Lord, do you want us to command fire to come down from heaven and consume them?" But he turned and rebuked them. Then they went on to another village. In these verses, it's a very significant moment in the Gospel of Luke. That phrase in verse 51, that he set his face to go to Jerusalem, this section that follows for a number of chapters, all the way towards chapter 19, is largely unique to Luke's telling of the Jesus story. And Jesus set his face to go to Jerusalem. That phrase, it's like you have made your face like flint. You've made it hard to prepare yourself for what is coming. And for Jesus, that means the arrest, the trial, and the horror of crucifixion. But you notice that the very first thing he does is he enters a village of the Samaritans. And you may know that the Samaritans were people who they thought that they were to worship in a different place. And you may recall the story of Jesus and the Samaritan woman from John chapter 4. And should we worship on this mountain or in Jerusalem? And so there is religious rivalry. And so since he's on his way to Jerusalem, we're told that the Samaritans don't want to help or support him or provide hospitality. And what's significant to me is the response of James and John. In their righteous fervor and their certainty of who they are in following Jesus, they ask Jesus if he wants them to command fire to consume and kill them all, wipe them all out, wipe them off the map. And unfortunately, too often, that can still be Christians' response today to people who have a different faith, a different belief, who don't share our convictions. And Jesus' response is not, yeah, let's just kill them all. He rebukes them instead. And they go on to another village. And I think in these days, we who are followers of Christ can once again learn from his example that the best response to people who disagree with us is not violence, it's not death, it's grace and space and mercy.